There is a general notion that Indian food is inherently takeout or delivery food, which means that it's cheap, at least in the US. I'm not saying that every Indian restaurant I've been to is cheap or that everyone expects a smaller check when they go to an Indian restaurant. You've heard me talk about my love for Indian street food, which is usually affordable, and therefore I have nothing against food that costs less. It's a wonderful thing as long as the quality isn't compromised. Indian cuisine is not the only cuisine that people associate with takeout. What other cuisines can you think of that fall into this category? I can think of Mexican, Chinese, and even Thai food that suffer from this misclassification.
Chinese takeout.
We got Chinese takeout.
Thai takeout. Indians, right?
I wonder why Californian, Italian, and French cuisines don't have to bear the brunt of this miscategorization. While I don't know the answer to why certain cuisines are considered cheap, what I do know is what cheap does not mean, especially when it comes to Indian cuisine. Cheap does not mean that it's easy to prepare. Most Indian dishes are a labor of love and time intensive. You need to prep quite a few ingredients, and it usually takes time to develop the depth of flavor that you want. Most Indian restaurants in the US take shortcuts when it comes to these two aspects. I cover these in depth and many other problematic trends with Indian food in the US in a video that I've done before. The link is in the description below. Cheap does not mean it's poor quality. Indian street food is incredibly cheap and incredibly delicious, and it's made with high quality fresh ingredients. In the US, when we think about high quality fresh ingredients, we think of fancy grocery stores like Erewhon or Whole Foods. However, that's not the case in India. It's very easy and even more accessible to buy high quality, fresh ingredients from local farmers and purveyors. Cheap does not mean that it didn't take years of practice to perfect. The thing about Indian street food is that it's highly specialized. A street food vendor usually cooks 2 or 3 dishes, and these recipes are family recipes that are passed down through generations. The idea is that the legacy of the dish lives on long after the creator is gone. I'm fascinated by the swift and smooth motions of the street vendors' hands that conjure up these delicious offerings in the blink of an eye. That takes years of dedication to build. Last but not least, cheap does not mean it's not special. Let's look at an example. Butter chicken is loved worldwide, and it's certainly a dish that you eat as a part of a special meal. It's not an everyday dish. Butter chicken can take up to 2 days to create. First, you have to marinate the chicken in the yogurt and spices overnight for maximum flavor development. Then you have to cook the chicken to perfection to get that characteristic char on the outside and a juicy inside. The sauce, velvety, smooth, buttery, is a work of art in itself with a perfect balance between butter, tomatoes, and spices. And then, of course, you pair it with the perfect naan. Buttery, chewy, charred, and slightly crisp on the edges. How is that not special? There are many Indian restaurants in the US that are breaking these stereotypes. Spice Affair in Los Angeles, Rue in San Francisco, and Sema in New York City are just a few examples. I've thoroughly enjoyed my meals at these restaurants, and I really appreciate the care and attention that goes into preparing each dish. The fact that Indian food is often associated with takeout or delivery creates the self-fulfilling prophecy that it's cheap. I hope this video helps you question why Indian food is cheap in the US and whether it should be. Like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want to dive into the depths of Indian cuisine. My key is available for purchase. The link is in the description below.